Hello, my name is Adam Lamb, and this is my CS496 Mobile and Cloud Development How-To Guide. I chose to do my how-to on Marmalade, which is a C++ mobile game development environment. I am focusing this video on the installation. It was somewhat difficult, and after the titanium thing, I just deleted almost all the Java stuff, so I just started from scratch with Marmalade, and I thought it would be nice to just go over it because it did take me a while. It was kind of frustrating. Um, all the websites I show you here will be linked wherever this video is to make it nice and easy to just go and grab everything real fast. Alright. So the first thing we need to do is we need to download Marmalade. So we go right here. This will be where it is. And you'll go ahead and you go download Marmalade. As you can see, it's just over 900 megabytes, so it's going to take a little while to download. Hopefully that will be the longest part of your installation. And while that's happening, you're going to want to fill out all of the registration stuff. You have to get an activation key, otherwise you won't be able to use it. So just fill this out. Oh, and it was kind of difficult to actually find where my license was for this too. So when you're just gonna, oh, I don't do it on this. So sign on in. Once you sign in, you go to my account. You go to licenses. You go down here. And here's your license. And then you don't actually see it. It'll appear right here. You go to select action. You go to show key. And it'll show you your key right there. Okay. There is Marmalade. And we've also already signed up for the activation key. Installing Marmalade wasn't an issue, it's just a standard installation. So just go through that. And then once you have it downloaded, this is what it looks like. It's just this hub window here. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the dependency checker. And this is going to show you everything. There'll also be iOS down here, and it'll show you all these X's and whatever. And the first thing we want is we want to have our C++ development environment. And I had the Visual Studio that we were allowed to download from class here, but I know that our time here is coming to an end, so you might want to just get the free version. There's a free version of Visual Studio that works with Marmalade. And if you'll look here, this is where the link takes you. And I originally downloaded this one. Apparently that was not correct, so you need to make sure you're using this one, the Express 21E13 with Update 4 for Windows Desktop. And that is the one you want to go, otherwise the other ones won't work. I think that Windows right here, this one needs Windows 8. I didn't even look at web. So download this one. So we have installed Microsoft Visual Studios. Oh yes, and the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start Microsoft Visual Studios. Yeah, that took me a little while. I had to look it up, and somebody else encountered the same issue. So make sure you start it because it has to do its initial configuration before Marmalade can use it. Okay, so for Android development, let's go back to Marmalade. So again, we're in the dependency checker. You go to the dependency checker, go down to Android, and it's going to tell you everything you need for this. The question marks are just extra little add-ons. They're not necessary to actually develop. But everything, all my green checks here were originally red X's, except I think this one. So everybody should probably have the Java runtime environment already. If not, it comes with the JDK. So we'll go ahead and start with the JDK. So if you have it already, you just browse and you find exactly where the folder is, and then it'll be nice and happy. Otherwise, you need to go and you need to download it. So it's just the way we downloaded it before, except this isn't like titanium. You can actually use the newest version of the JDK. I used, I think I'm even using the 64-bit version. So yes, it's not like titanium. This one actually works with the newest setups. Just go ahead and download that. And as I said, if you don't already have a runtime environment, it'll also ask you to install that. and then you just find this, you find its path. And then the next thing we need to do is the Android NDK. So the link will just take you right to here. You scroll down, you'll pick your version of Windows or Mac. Yep, there you go. Okay, so let's see here. So now we have the NDK set up, and we'll again just find exactly where that is. And since I started again with all this new stuff, all this Java stuff, I just made a Java mobile development folder, and I made it easy because you're going to have to actually use the command line to get here. So yeah, I just have it all in here, so then I can throw in all my Java stuff no matter what version, and then I can just have all of my programs referencing these rather than needing to download them over and over and over again. Yes. Alright, so there's the NDK. We're done with that. There's the JDK, NDK. So, and then something that I had the bigger issue with was the Android signing certificates. So if you go on here, we go down, our next thing right here is Android signing certificates. And we need to browse where the actual key store is. We'll need a key store password, an alias name, and a key password. It looks kind of intimidating, but it was really easy. You just go up to push in your command prompt. You can do CMD, that's your command prompt. And it starts you off in your user directory, and you just go back, and I went right into my mobile development folder, Java JDK. So this is just the Java JDK installation. You'll go into the bin folder, and in the bin folder there's a executable called keytool, and that is what we're going to use to get our signing certificates. So I found this site that was really helpful. It's mostly just for this command right here. I'm not really exactly sure what this does. All I know is it let me develop on Marmalade, so I'm not gonna try and pretend I know what it means. So you copy that, and then in your bin folder you'll just paste, and right here you'll see that it's in bold, your app name.keystore and then app name alias. So you'll change these to whatever you want your app name to be, and then your app name alias. And then it's going to ask you to enter a password. Oh, well, yeah, it's going to ask you passwords, so you just remember your passwords and all that. And then it will generate a file. So we'll go into our bin folder in the Java JDK. So we're in the mobile development. Go to JDK. Go to bin. And it's going to look like this. It's going to be a .keystore file, and this is going to be whatever you named it. So I named mine Lamba first app, and this is exactly what it looked like. I just found it in that bin folder, and I just put it here for easier reference. Alright. So yes, and then we learned already how to use the keygen tool. So what you'll do is you'll enter wherever your key store file is into this path right here, this whatever. And then we have a key store password and your private key password, and all of this stuff is what was generated on your command line. So just make sure you're remembering all that, and you can enter it right here. And let's see. So, and then for developing on iOS, I was really excited because Marmalade sat there and it said it's really easy to develop games for iOS on Windows. So this is what you go to. Let me see here. So you go down here. I was very curious, and this is where it sent me to look at the requirements. So to develop, we need these things: the latest version of iTunes, easy, Xcode on a Mac. Well, I don't have a Mac, so that was a no-go already. And then even with those of you with a Mac, you need to pay $99 a year for a valid certificate and keys. So my advice for you on developing on iOS is don't be a poor student. So far I've gone through the first 3 tutorials in depth on Marmalade. The first 2 were pretty easy, and they were follow along. You know, they had you make a picture and click around. and it moved it and it made a sound, and I made my own sound thing, and it was kind of funny, and I made a little picture, and it was kind of fun to do that. But then once you get to the third tutorial, it gets much more complicated, and I wasn't able to use my own things anymore, but I kind of followed along and saw what it did, and I've looked through several of the other ones just to see what the differences were. And it's very tough. If I had at least a week to really sit there and dissect Marmalade, it looked like it would be a pretty easy way to just go about this, but I didn't realize how in-depth game development was, and it definitely requires a lot of time to look at all these tools. So I hope you're interested, and I hope this guide helped you install it and get you interested in Marmalade. Thank you for your time, and that was my how-to guide.